The wants-based system works well in a lot of different ways, but I find that when I play wants-based, my stories don't progress, and so my Sims won't roll the want to get a job, go to work, do homework, etc. This leads to dead-end stories where your Sims don't have anything going on in their lives. I've since stopped playing wants-based for this reason. Instead, I use it as an added asset in gameplay. In this video, I will explain how storytelling begins in CAS and showing you how I would set up my Sims in a way that would make them more fun to play. Alright, so one of the first things I would do to create like Sims and a story would be to use a trait generator. So if you don't have any idea of what kind of sim you want to make, this is a perfect way to get some ideas. And so I would just search random trait generator and I would click on, I like the fantasy name generator. But I click on it and it kind of gives me a bunch of different like adjectives and I can just choose. So I can choose some positive and I can choose some negative. And so I just go through and I'm like, pick out keywords that I think sound interesting. So, maybe this one, okay, maybe they're courteous, maybe they're respectful, but maybe they're very like selfish. Maybe they're overconfident. So we can do something with that. So let's try to do something with that. So here we are in Belladonna Cove. I just wanted to go into the Create a Sim area to kind of show you what I mean. So I usually wait to do names. I will use like random name generators online if I can't think of anything. So we know that this person's going to be like overconfident, pretty selfish, but they're gonna be like a respectful sim, so maybe they're gonna be proper just based on those like key adjectives. Let's create our sim. I will just do something random. So here's my sim. I just kind of randomized the face and I kind of just add details, hair, accessories that just kind of look right to me for the face. So this is him. I don't know his name yet. I don't know very much about him, but this is what I like to do. So just based on his traits that I randomized, maybe he's more self-assured, maybe he's overconfident, maybe he is a respectful kind of guy, but he's like a little bit full of himself, maybe very selfish. He's giving me a little bit of a Jared Frio vibe for some reason. Then I would maybe come over here and do his bio and be like, what do I want to decide for him? Like, I would take his traits and maybe I would take his aspiration and his personality and his turn-ons and all that, and I would take all of this into account to create a sim and maybe a little bit of a background story for him. He turns out to be a Libra. And then based on his traits, maybe he is overconfident, so maybe he would be a fortune or a romance sim. I kind of see him being a fortune sim, good cook, and we'll do like blonde hair or something. We'll do the turn off being stink. Then I would come back here, maybe decide his outfit for him based on his personality. He's very sloppy, he's very lazy, but he's very self-assured. He's outgoing. He's a respectful guy, so maybe because he's lazy and sloppy, he would just throw on some clothes. Let's just give him this for now. I'm not gonna care. Well, actually, we will. We'll go in here, and because he's a lazy, sloppy sim, maybe he will wear something that's not like too like, you know, form-fitting, sophisticated. Maybe there will be a little bit less care because he's playful. Maybe he would wear something more like out there like this. Maybe for his pajamas, he wouldn't wear something more like classy like this, or he wouldn't wear like something like this that matches. Maybe he would wear something like this, a little bit more messy, maybe worn down. Maybe he would wear just something like this, and then for the outerwear, maybe something like this. So really like take your Sim's personality into account when you're making them. Like take their sloppiness and their neatness and all of this like outgoingness and all that into account when you make your Sim and dress them accordingly. It'll also help kind of figure out what kind of a Sim that they are. And then because we know he's self-assured, kind of overconfident, he's a Libra, he's a fortune Sim, he's lazy, he's sloppy, he's playful, he's supposed to be respectful, you know, because he's nice. Maybe we can say something like, okay, I kind of just made like a little snippet, just kind of giving him a little bit of background. So like when you first start the game, he's not like boring. And so I said, Steven is an outgoing and nice Sim. He is respectful to others and likes to go out of his way to help others when he actually wants to get off the couch. He is very confident that one day he'll make lots of money, but with his lazy nature, will he be able to get himself off the couch to achieve his goal? So like I might like end up tweaking that or whatever. We're just going off what little we do know. That's a good start. Okay, so I don't know why I came up with this last name. This is why I like randomized the last name, but it's just the first thing that came to my mind. So this is Steven Tabernacle. We're gonna move him into some random apartment. The next thing I would do is place down the Sim Blender, the trait randomizer, the color randomizer, and then based on Sims, I have body hair and tattoos as well. Let's randomize Steven's traits. Let's add a favorite color for him. Let's add some body hair. Now you can see his body hair. Now he has more character. His favorite color is now blue. And I feel like maybe he would have a tattoo. So, also look at his interest. So, he's super interested in crime and politics, paranormal, fashion, and travel. Okay. This is Steven. We have randomized his traits. We know his hobby is art. We know his favorite color is blue. We know he's a lazy, sloppy Sim. We know he's into crime and politics and fashion and travel and a little bit of paranormal. He's not lazy enough to like not go to work, so he likes working and he likes money a little bit. So that tells me that he would probably have a job, obviously. It's showing that he wants to get a job in architecture and law. And the way I would play before, I would have probably let him go into those. Law sounds interesting because he is interested in crime, so we might lock that one in. Politics though is very interesting to me. So in this case, he could end up being a lawyer in law, so he'd be like a lawyer, or he could also go into like criminal, or he could be in law enforcement. Did he just yell at you? Why? Oh my god, your landlord does not like you for some reason. Alright, the other thing that I would do is once I do all of these things, I would go over here and I would choose lifetime want from personally available. So a couple of things. I mean, he does want a lot of money, so like that would be awesome. But because he is the want to go into law, and he has that high interest in crime, I think I'm going to make him a lawyer or go into the law. So that's what he's going to do. And so now his lifetime want is to become the law. And so just to make it easier, I'm going to go ahead and put him in law. Okay. All right. So now he has more, we know more about him. So based on what we know about him, his traits now don't really match up. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to grab and choose some of the traits myself that make more sense. And so, okay, so normally I would just give myself 5 traits, but in this case, just to show you what I'm doing, is these would be all the traits I would give him. So because he's confident, I would say he's brave. He's a slob, obviously. I gave him proper because he is respectful to others, and I feel like he would have manners. Maybe he's a slob and he doesn't like have manners in like the food regard, but in this case I would feel like he would say please and thank you, will want to help others out and just have that kind of thing. He's a couch potato because he's lazy, good sense of humor because he's playful, and social butterfly because he likes to be a center of attention because he's playful and nice, and he loves just talking with friends. So this is Steven here, and he likes art. So there's a couple of things that we could do. He can paint, or he can sew, or he can be doing flower. We can make him like pottery too. Okay, so now that Steven is all set up, now that I kind of got his traits, his hobby, his base personality down, what I would probably do to also like kind of further show his story is I would have him make a couple of clay things and put it around his apartment or whatever, and just kind of show like his personality through his home. And so that would also further help make a story. And so what I would also do is have that base, you know, story, and I would play with him and see what he wants to do, and what he decides to do, because I have ACR installed, that's going to be more interesting. So maybe he would have, you know, romance happen, maybe he would want to make friends and things like that. So like, let's come out here and roll Greet Marie. But to set a sim up, now he has more personality than just creating a sim that looks good and then just kind of like spawning him in. He has, like, as you can see, he's more interesting now. And look, the way he greeted her, he was really respectful. Let's talk to her. So he looks interesting, and we know his base personality, and I even made a bio for him. So now when you begin the game, it's more interesting. There's a story there, and then as you play and things happen, he interacts with Sims, then it makes more of a story. Maybe in his case, I would probably give him like very little money to start with to make it more interesting as well. So that's what I mean by beginning your game, creating Sims that have more personality, more depth. It makes for an interesting gameplay, so that when you do your rotations, it's more interesting and you're not just sitting there like speeding through. Your Sims now like are fun to play with. It's exciting. It's like, oh, I wonder how this story is gonna go. every time you load into a household, there's going to be a different story. And I think that makes for a more fun, more enjoyable experience. But yeah, so I hope that any of that made more sense, but just giving you a general idea of what I did here. Hopefully that'll help you create more interesting sims and stuff like that. So I hope that any of this was helpful to you. I really do hope you take any of these tips and you know, create more interesting stories for yourself, enjoy your rotations. I wanted to make this video because I find that a lot of people tend to speed through their rounds and rotations and things like that. I am a victim of this as well, or I do this. So, yeah, hopefully any of this was helpful to you. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe for more. I'll see you next time. Bye.